The Fever select Makayla Timpson, Florida State. Makayla Timpson, Florida State. Let's go!
Thank you, Indiana.
You could feel the oxygen rush out of Gainbridge Fieldhouse the instant the WNBA commissioner uttered the words, Makayla Timpson, Florida State. Every mock draft, every pundit, every feverish Fever fan had penciled in Lucy Olsen with Indiana's first selection. But in one heartbeat, the front office tore that script to pieces, and the shockwaves didn't stop there. With pick 20, they doubled down on uncertainty, grabbing South Carolina's Bree and leaving Olsen twisting on the board. Why would a franchise desperate to capitalize on Caitlin Clark's soaring star power pass on a proven scorer twice? Tonight, we unpack the hidden logic that might flip the entire 2025 season on its head. No one loves chaos more than draft night. Still, Indiana's pivot was seismic. Remember, by the time Commissioner Engelbert stepped to the podium, social feeds already hummed with photoshops of Clark and Olsen celebrating at center court. Olsen, the Big East bucket getter who torched opponents for nearly 18 a night, looked tailor-made to soak up easy looks off Clark's gravity. Yet the Fever Brain Trust slammed the brakes on that narrative for one unmissable reason: gaps. Indiana's 2024 stat sheet read like a cry for help in the paint. They finished bottom 3 in opponent field goal percentage within 5 feet, surrendered offensive boards like party favors, and coughed up layups in transition. In other words, if the draft were a medicine cabinet, the Fever needed rim protection and interior toughness more than another perimeter flamethrower. So when Makayla Timpson's name still glowed on the screen at pick 19, GM Lynn Dunn trusted the homework over the headlines.
The 2025 WNBA draft is in. The Indiana Fever selecting Makayla Timpson from Florida State University.
Reporters on the broadcast rewound the selection ticker, convinced they'd misheard. Twitter exploded. Huh? Trended for 7 straight minutes. But in the war room, the mood was pure fist pump. It felt like chess when the rest of the league was still playing Connect 4. And if that sounded wild, the Fever pitch was about to spike again. Strip away the draft night fog, and Timpson's resume gleams. 6'2" in shoes, arms that unfurl to 6'10", and a motor scout swear needs no jumper cables.
15 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. So you talk about a player that has a motor.
Last season, she became the only Division I player to tease a 15-point, 10-rebound, 3-block stat line. A triple threat of scoring, glass-eating, and shot-swatting that usually exists only in video game sliders. But numbers alone don't explain the fit. Picture Timpson sprinting rim to rim. Clark snags a rebound, head up like a quarterback in fast break sneakers. One bounce, a flick of the wrist, and the ball is arcing above traffic before defenders even pivot. That's the Timpson effect. She transforms routine possessions into runway moments. Now flip the floor. A guard dares probe the lane. Suddenly, a wingspan eclipses the paint, erasing angles, warping shot charts, flipping momentum with one emphatic spike off the glass. Analysts label those blocks highlight plays. Coaches call them oxygen because a big stop can resuscitate an entire bench. Critics harp on her free throw woes and occasional foul trouble. But the Fever don't need her to sink skyhooks. They need a sledgehammer to knock opponents off balance. In Timpson, they found it, still wrapped in rookie plastic. Yet Indiana wasn't done constructing the puzzle. Every great pivot invites a what could have been chorus, and Olsen's slide is already late-night radio fodder. She's a scoring savant, yes, but the Fever depth chart at guard already reads like a seating chart at a star-studded gala. Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Erica Wheeler. The ball will find plenty of handlers. Adding Olsen risked redundancy and defensive leakage. Whispers suggest Indiana's analytics crew flagged Olsen's minus rating when guarded by longer wings, plus concerns about her ability to thrive off the ball for extended stretches. Could she have learned? Probably. But WNBA rosters cap at 12, and minutes disappear quicker than a lead in the fourth. The Fever bet that shoring up weaknesses held more long-term value than doubling down on strengths. Still, passing on a fan favorite twice guaranteed backlash. Comment threads sizzled. Fire the front office! Clark needed her splash sister. The noise will follow Timpson and Hall into training camp like an unwelcome shadow. Which leads us to the second surprise of the night. And what happened next turned disbelief into outright amazement.
Well, speaking of where you get picked in the fit, the Indiana Fever also have the 20th pick. And with that selection, the Fever take Bree Hall from the University of South Carolina.
Bree Hall's college box scores won't melt your screen, just 5.8 points per game, modest rebounds, quiet usage. But ask any coach who game planned against South Carolina, and they'll gush about the plays that never reach a spreadsheet. Hall denies drives before they form, rotates like she's reading sheet music, and nails corner threes at the exact moment a defense exhales. Winning pedigree matters too. 2 national titles mean she's tasted pressure hotter than a summer sidewalk. She's the defender you assign to an opposing star when you need that player to wake up shooting 3 for 12. She won't demand touches, she'll demand accountability. Teams anchored by generational scorers often implode because role players can't thrive without spotlights. Hall was bred in the dark. She blooms under Clark's neon glow. The sneakiest value? Hall's versatility lets Indiana toggle lineups. Run small and switch everything? Hall slides to power guard. Need length on a hot wing? She's there. Her toolkit is duct tape for coaches. Unflashy, indispensable. And just like that, Indiana's seemingly bizarre second round morphed into a coherent vision. But a blueprint means nothing without execution. Lynn Dunn isn't building a highlight reel. She's building an ecosystem. Clark remains the nucleus. Sun bright, gravity warping. Around her, Dunn wants orbiters. 1 vertical spacer, Timpson. 1 perimeter stopper, Hall. 1 playmaking post in Aaliyah Boston, and a cluster of shooters who live to relocate. Instead of stuffing another high-usage guard beside Clark, the Fever sprinkled complementary skills like seasoning in a recipe. Think 2022-23 Connecticut Sun, the squad that rode defense and balance all the way to the finals. Dunn served as architect there too. She knows championship runs rarely crown the loudest roster. They reward the most balanced one. By draft's end, she'd recreated that framework. Only now she has a superstar whose passing range redraws half-court geometry. Front office skeptics groan that defense doesn't sell tickets, but Dunn wagers that winning does. If Timpson swats 2 shots into the 3rd row and Hall stonewalls a marquee scorer, fans will forget who the mock drafts promised. Yet the gulf from promise to payoff can swallow the unprepared, because the next challenge lurks where spotlights don't reach. Training camp.
Really excited. I mean, just being in the gym, with our players that we have in market, certainly, and the excitement that's surrounding the draft.
WNBA training camp is a knife fight in a broom closet. 12 chairs, 15 talented mouths. Veterans like Christy Wallace will scrap for minutes. Rookies must prove value yesterday. Timpson must tighten footwork to dodge quick whistles. Hall has to hit open looks at a pro clip to silence offensive liability murmurs. Every drill will be tweeted, every scrimmage clip dissected. If a rookie stumbles, the should-have-taken Olsen crowd will be ready with receipts. That pressure can forge diamonds or crack foundations. The Fever's coaching staff plans to lean on Clark and Boston as tone setters. Win possessions, uplift teammates, remind everyone that sacrifice today births banners tomorrow. Internal competition extends to social capital too. Who bonds with Clark over film study? Who shows up first to optional lifts? These micro moments decide rotation pecking order long before opening night. And with a generational talent accelerating Indiana's timeline, patience is measured in dog years. But if the rookies survive camp, the payoff could be electric. Scenario A, the block party. Mid-January tied game, 30 seconds left. A star guard snakes to the rim. Timpson glides over, pins the layup so hard it ricochets to midcourt. Clark gobbles the loose ball, flicks it ahead, splash 3. Momentum tsunami. Fever win, highlight reels loop for a week, and Timpson's jersey shoots up merchandise charts. Scenario B, the silent shutdown. April road tilt. Opponents boast a wing averaging 20+. Coach sides unleashes Hall. Possessions later, that scorer is settling for step-back prayers. Hall scores maybe 6 points herself, yet the post-game talk is her plus-minus and Clark's 10 assists. Defense turned into offense, and nobody's complaining about lost shot attempts. Scenario C, the rookie wall. Late summer, Timpson's legs wobble, Hall's 3-ball deserts her. Fever drop 4 straight. Message boards reignite. How the staff manages those valleys, minutes reduction, sports psych, adjusted schemes, will reveal championship DNA as plainly as any buzzer beater. Each fork in the road loops back to the draft night gamble. Cash it in, and Indiana might leap from plucky upstart to dark horse favorite. Miss, and critics will say they outsmarted themselves. Either way, the ride promises fireworks. Draft night is rarely judged fairly in real time. Some gambles blossom years later, others wilt before preseason ends. Tonight, though, the Fever didn't simply pick players. They declared an identity. They chose wingspan over headlines, intangibles over Instagram highlights, and roster harmony over individual hype. Imagine June 2026. Gainbridge packed, championship banners flapping gently from the rafters. A documentary crew rewinds to this very evening, freeze-framing Clark's grin as Timpson slips on her cap, capturing Hall's quiet fist pump offstage. The voiceover says, "Here, before the sellouts, before the trophies, Indiana dared to zag when the world screamed zig." That future is no guarantee. Injuries lurk, chemistry can sour, and rookies sometimes drown in professional expectations. Yet if this gamble pays, historians will circle April 17th, 2025, as the night a dynasty's becks of having a legitimate enforcer. So as you close this video, ask yourself, did we just watch a front office lose its mind? Or did we witness the first domino of a basketball revolution? The answer won't reveal itself tomorrow, but trust me, you'll want a ringside seat when it does.